You're tuned in to the Brand Ambassador Select Podcast.
Hi, and welcome back to the Brand Ambassador Select Podcast, where we are building connections, showcasing the impressive, and inspiring movers and makers. I'm your host, Lenore, and if you want to gain control over your life, this is the episode for you. It is possible to wake up happy every morning, and it is possible to have healthy relationships with others. It is very important, though, to know and understand who you are within. Now, this will result in more fulfillment in life and, just an overall well-being. So to help discover who you truly are and achieve happiness, I've invited self-discovery and empowerment coach Aura E. Martinez on today's episode. Aura's book, Creating a Lifetime of Wellness, helps you gain the awareness you need to increase your well-being every day, starting now. It's all within your reach, starting this second. So Aura, welcome to the Brand Ambassador Select Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Now, I think this is the most important question I can ask you today. You ready for it?
I am ready.
How do we figure out who we are on the inside and ultimately gain control? Go.
That is a very good question. It is so important, I think, to give ourselves time on a daily basis to connect with ourselves. I do it through meditation. This is what I personally do. And I love to journal because I like to connect with my thoughts. I like to connect with my feelings. Because one of the things that we tend to disregard, and I've been guilty of that before, is what is going on within. And it is when we give ourselves that time to connect with ourselves, to fully understand ourselves, to connect with our emotions, we will start understanding the parts of us that we most likely have been disregarding for so long. So I think every day, giving yourself that quiet time, especially in the morning, just to connect with yourself, to ground yourself. Ask yourself the questions that I think many times we don't give ourselves the time to even ask ourselves. Like, what do we see ourselves in our life? What makes us happy? Even what annoys us, believe it or not, because that's important.
I could tell you what annoys me. The dishes not done, the toilet seat up, all those problems.
But, we think that those things are not important, but they are.
Yes, they are. Because it would make me happy if they just got done.
Because believe it or not, even when it comes to jobs or careers, it's so important that we know what it is that we like, what it is that we don't like, what it is that we have patience for, what it is that we don't have patience for. So it's giving ourselves the time to ask those challenging questions so that we can get those answers from within.
I like that. What other questions can we ask? So we had, are we happy? What annoys you? What was the other two that you mentioned?
Well, when it comes to happiness, what it is that makes you happy? What is your definition of happiness? What are your needs in every area of your life? Meaning, what are your needs when it comes to friendships? What are your needs when it comes to a partner? Ooh, that's a very important one.
Like, I need those dishes cleaned. That's what I need. Can you tell that I live with a boy? Like, is that not obvious?
But it's so important to know each and every one of those things, because from there, we're going to know, okay, what can we tolerate and what we cannot tolerate? What it is that we can handle, what it is that we cannot handle. What kind of job or career I need to go after, what career and job I don't go after. Like, for instance, I knew that I'm not the type that gets homesick easily. Mm-hmm. So apart from being a self-discovery and empowerment coach, I'm also a flight attendant.
What? I didn't read that on your website. Did I not find it?
I left that out, but I am.
JFK, Newark, or LaGuardia? Which one?
At first, all three, because I'm based in New York. Yes.
That's a lot.
Yes. And I know that kind of job, I'm pretty sure it's not for everyone. Because you're always constantly on the move. You're not always in the same city or the same country. And so this is why discovering yourself is so, so important. So I love to help people with their inner journey, because I think that we're always wanting to discover different countries, different places, but there is one place that is so important that we discover, and that's ourselves.
Right inside.
Yeah.
Right in there. Now, I know you did mention your labels, but you don't usually like to go by any specific label. Why is that? And how can that really hinder us from really achieving a lifetime of happiness and of wellness?
I feel that if we think about it, labels, they put us in categories or in boxes. And that can hinder us from discovering different parts of us, from us being everything that we are capable of being. And with everything that is going on, just look at everything that's going on with the virus. So many of us are being forced to pivot in ways that we never thought that we would pivot. I mean, there are a lot of people right now that have lost their jobs. And if they are so attached to that title, to that job, to that label, as I like to say it, they can feel like a part of them is missing, because in essence, it is because they have attached themselves to that title, to that job. Again, I'm gonna mention, apart from being a self-discovery and empowerment coach, I'm a flight attendant. And the airline industry right now is being impacted hugely by everything that's going on.
Are you flying right now? Because I do have a couple. Yeah, I do have a couple of friends that were like put on furlough, or they had to, not work because there's not many people that are traveling, unfortunately.
I haven't been flying since March, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I'm fine with it because, again, I feel like I'm so much more than just a flight attendant. So I'm cultivating different parts of me, doing different things. When I'm not working in my business, I'm writing. When I'm not writing, I'm doing videos. When I'm not doing videos, I'm improving my language skills. Hence, that's why sometimes I get tongue-tied. And the way I pronounce things is a little different because I speak other languages besides Spanish and English. And
it's okay. I only speak English and I still can't pronounce English. I tried Spanish. It's somewhere in there. Like I'm not there.
And so it's so important that we cultivate the different parts of us, because otherwise, when we make one thing, that only thing, and that everything, it can be very devastating. So it's very important that we have what I like to say, a whole menu of things that we love, that we do, because that is going to make life more delicious for us. And not only that, it's going to equip us to be able to deal with things when one area of our life isn't going necessarily the way we want it to go.
So what was that moment for you specifically that made you ultimately take control of your own life?
I have to share that when I turned 30, I felt extremely frustrated. And this is why I say that every emotion that we feel is there for a reason. It is not for us to brush underneath the rug. It is not for us to ignore. It's there for a reason. And it wasn't until I took the time to understand the frustration that I was able to receive my calling. Because I opened myself up to, okay, why am I this frustrated? Because I have a job that is great. I'm traveling the world. But what that frustration was trying to tell me that I didn't realize at the time was, I want you to do more. There's more for you. And that was the turning point for me that led me to do all the things that I'm doing, that led me to publish the book, actually 2 books at this point, that led me to get into coaching. It was thanks to that frustration, believe it or not. So I'm a believer that your frustration literally is your liberation.
So you did forget the title author at the beginning when you were not talking about your label. So tell us about your book, Creating a Lifetime of Wellness.
So in that book, I discuss the different areas of our life that we don't realize that is impacting us. So I talk about the need of having an oasis that is your home. And interesting enough, I published that back in 2017. And I think it's obvious with this coronavirus
that we need it now.
That we need an oasis now, that our home needs to be our oasis. I cover knowing what your needs are, because it's so important that you know what your needs are in every area of your life. I cover the importance of choosing your friends right, choosing your partner right, adapting and embracing the changes of
That's a
life.
chapter.
That's a chapter, yes. So I cover a whole bunch of things, and let me just show the book if you don't mind. I cover a whole bunch of things that we tend to disregard, that we tend to ignore, and we don't realize the impact that it has in our life.
So what tips and tricks do you have for us to try to create that oasis at home? Because now, unfortunately, and sometimes it is happening a lot, how can our home be our oasis when it's still our workplace now? Like, we had no choice but to integrate both of them.
Yes. First and foremost, it's so important that we check in with ourselves, because I'm a believer that our outer world is a reflection of our inner world. So a home that is very chaotic, a lot of times is just mirroring whatever chaos we have within. So it's so important that we check in with ourselves and see how it is that we're feeling, what it is that's going on within us. That's the first thing. The second thing is to make sure that your home represents who you are and what it is that you want to be. So it's very important that we are mindful. This is just one example when it comes to home, because I think that home right now is a big thing, because there's a lot of things going on nowadays, and the home needs to be that oasis. Making sure that the colors of your home makes you feel grounded. Making sure, this is just one example, making sure that the people that you live with, there is harmony, not toxic people. And if you are in a toxic relationship, take a moment to really analyze and see, okay, in what way am I contributing to this relationship being toxic? Because it's never one person, it always takes two. And I think that for as long as we can remember, okay, and this was very hard for me to even grasp, and you don't know how much I beat myself up for a period of time when I realized this. Our outer world is a reflection also of what's going on within.
What do you mean by that? Like my aura?
No.
Is that what you mean?
So think about this. Whatever area of your life that you don't like, say for example, if you have toxic relationships, that's the outer world. That's what you're experiencing outside of you. Someone that has, this is just an example, someone that has a healthy self-esteem, that is grounded, that love themselves, they will not allow relationships in their life that are toxic. And this is why I say that the outer world is always mirroring what's going on within. And that's a good thing. That's a very good thing, because that means that we have more power over our life than we can possibly imagine. So that's a very good thing. So anytime we're trying to change the outer world, we're going to change it by first changing what's going on within.
Actually, how can your classes, your programs, you being in my life or someone else's life, how can that self-discovery help us thrive right now during these uncertain times?
This is the perfect time for us to reflect upon our life. This is the perfect time for us to be collecting the jewels that this time has for us, because the jewels for each and every one of us are very different. I don't know about you, and I don't know about anybody that is listening, but I know that after this COVID, there's so many things in my life that are going to be very, very different. And it's thanks to this COVID. And so it is so important that we're giving ourselves that time to really understand what our values are, what are the gifts that this season of our life has for us, in what way we can be better because of everything that we are going through, and how we can implement all these jewels, all these lessons into our next season of our life. And so this is the perfect time for anyone to be working with someone, or even me, if they feel that they resonate with me, so that they can know what their next step is, so that they can know what are the changes that they need to be implementing in their life, and discover themselves so powerfully. Because I'm telling you, when you discover yourself powerfully, you're able to master yourself. When you're able to master yourself, you're able to master your life.
Well, I think we can end there. Just kidding. I'm not. That was just that was like the perfect like end all be all phrase, Aura. I don't know how to top it or continue, but I will ask. What is the lesson that you've actually learned during this? Like, what did you discover for yourself, say, in the last 6 months specifically?
For me, one of them, and I know this resonates with a lot of people, finances.
Yeah, money.
Oh.
Where is it? We never have enough.
Yeah. Well, and that's a belief too. That's a belief that I think that many of us have to eradicate. That there's not enough.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, we never have enough.
Yeah. Well, for me, I just feel like I need to value more my time, my money. Value it in the sense that I take advantage of everything that I'm investing, max it out. Taking advantage in terms of not spending it because here I have the money and so I'm gonna spend it here, and because I would spend it in things that, and I did that for many, many, many years, but before it was really, really bad.
What did you buy yourself? I won't tell anybody. What is it?
Well, before, when I wasn't as grounded, when I wasn't as centered as I am now, I remember that I would buy things just to fill a void. This is why when I say the things that I say, I know what I'm saying because I lived it. And I resonate with those that feel the need to like spend just to fill a void that they have within. That's never going to fill the void, by the way. But it's just made me value my time, going back to the original question. It made me value my time more, my money more. It made me value also every moment that I'm living. In the sense that, indeed, if there's any moment in our life where we are seeing that things can change in an instant, it is now. And so it's so important to value every moment that we have, the opportunities that we have. Value it as much as possible because things can change.
I agree with you on the time aspect. I don't know how to sit and chill, to be honest with you. And I feel like I tell this to everybody these days, but I think it's more of I'm okay with knowing that I need to fix different aspects of my life and actually value the time I have, not just with friends and family, but like my alone time, that the time that I can take to ask myself those questions that you were saying earlier, like, am I happy? What will make me happy? What can I change? And all those other things. And I'm starting to realize that as well. So I know you're not alone because I'm right there with you, girl.
Yes.
And actually, what's one of the most important concepts of advice that has been given to you that you now spread to others?
Wow, there has been many.
You can pick a couple. I'm okay with that. I can never pick one of anything. So I don't know why I put people on the spot like this when I hate when they put me on the spot like this.
One of them is, no matter what stage or season I am in my life, and this was a friend that told me this. Well, she told me if I ever get married, actually, that never stop cultivating myself and my friendships. And I think that's very, very, very important because I think that many times we tend to make, like I was mentioning earlier in this interview, that when we make one thing our everything, that creates such an imbalance. And so she advised me, this was years ago, she advised me that because she didn't want me to go through that kind of imbalance that not every woman, but some women tend to do.
A good amount of women tend to do. If you're just listening on audio, friends, my face definitely paints a picture for you.
And thank you for making me laugh. I think that nowadays we need to laugh. We need to laugh. We need to be smart.
Like a lot of things are just, well, everything is just like way too serious these days.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying it's like we shouldn't be serious at all.
Exactly.
But you're right. There needs to be that time. And I feel like I've made you laugh more than any other person that's been on this show. So you get the record for that one, girl. I can 100% say that. But yeah, we do need times to just chat with somebody about everything and anything and make it not as serious. Like a discussion that you're having with like your friends that doesn't have to end in a debate, you know?
Yes. I think that now more than ever, we need those connections. We need those healthy connections. We need to be creating bridges in our communication. And then with everything that's going on, we need more laughter. We need more love. We so need it. We need it for our spirit. We need it for our mind, for our soul, and even for our body. Because wherever we are spiritually, the body follows.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's all I got for that one. Gonna leave it right there, Aura. So if you think you need Aura in your life, you can reach out to her at auraemartinez.com. That's AuraEmartinez.com. You can email her too at auraemartinez.com. You can check her out on Instagram at Aura Elena Martinez. Find her on Facebook as well. And Aura, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, I thank you. Thank you so much. It's been an honor.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get a chance to actually see each other soon because we're only like a bridge, a tunnel, like the Hudson away. We're not that far.
I would love that.
Well, that's a wrap on another episode of the Brand Ambassador Select Podcast. I'm your host, Lenora. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss one. More at brandambassadorselect.com, and we will see you next time.